To the panel, Josh Rogers.
Let's talk about guns. Mr. O'Connor, do you believe federal gun laws need to be tightened? And if so, what specific thing would you want added to the books?
Absolutely. So I believe in the Second Amendment, and I believe that the Second Amendment protects individuals to have guns, to protect themselves, to protect their families, and for sport, of course. In fact, a woman that's a very good friend of mine, a young woman, has a concealed carry permit because sometimes in certain parts of New Hampshire she doesn't always feel safe, and I think that that's completely appropriate. However, I do support what 90% of Americans support, which is background checks and making sure that we close the loopholes on background checks and that they're actually effective. And the laws that are on the books today are not completely effective. For example, just a couple of weeks ago, as documented in the Union Leader, a homeless individual in Manchester with a violent criminal history, even with New Hampshire's 3-day-long background check, was able to obtain guns due to a screwed-up background check. And then what we ended up having was 2 Manchester police officers shot. I don't think that's acceptable. So I want an instantaneous, no loophole background check for all Americans. I think that does not in any way impede anyone's Second Amendment rights, but it helps us keep guns out of the hands of domestic terrorists, domestic violence, those who've committed domestic violence, and violent criminals.
Thank you, Mr. O'Connor.
Congressman Ginta, Mr. O'Connor mentioned background checks. Right now, somebody with a criminal record bent on doing harm could walk into a gun show or go on the internet and potentially buy a gun without a background check. Why is that okay?
Well, Josh, I support the Second Amendment and people's individual rights to protect themselves and their property. If a terrorist walked into the Radisson in Manchester, into a gun show, and wanted to purchase some sort of weapon, he would have to go through a background check. That's the reality, first of all. Second of all, I suspect if a terrorist...
Everybody who goes in there to buy a gun has to go background check.
There is a requirement for anyone
federally licensed, correct?
If anyone who is federally licensed that's at a gun show is required to do a background check. That terrorist is not going to access that gun. No terrorist should be able to access weapons of any sort. Secondly,
private sales or universal background checks you don't support that.
What I support is the current law, which is any federally registered business is going to continue and complete that background check, both the NICS check as well as the state check. That needs to continue. What is happening is this Attorney General and the previous Attorney General of the United States are being told of the individuals, criminals, who are going in to try to purchase a gun illegally. They are not prosecuting those individuals. There's 48,000 cases right now, and only 44 have been prosecuted. You don't need a new law. You need to enforce the existing law.
Thank you, Congressman.
Okay, Representative Shea Porter, you've said you favor universal background checks, but are there types of firearms you think Granite Staters should be prohibited from owning?
Well, I feel the same way about the Second Amendment, that if people want to have a gun for hunting, if they want to have a gun for safety, if they want to have a gun just because they collect them, that's fine. But I also believe that we need to protect ourselves and each other from people who would do us harm. That's why the no fly, no buy is so important. If they're on a terrorist list, they shouldn't be allowed to buy. I know that my opponent says, well, some people get on the list long, and my answer is, well, fix it. But there's something else. Not only is Frank Ginta against that, because he knows right now that only 60% of the people get a check. So it's like going into the airport, and 60% of the people are told you have to go through the metal detector, and 40% are told you can go around the metal detector. We would not accept that, and yet that happens at gun shows, and that happens on the internet. But Frank has a new idea, and he wants people who, say, live in Chicago, which is that Firearms magazine talking about this. You can live in Chicago, but you can go buy a gun in Montana, and if you promise you're going to keep it in Montana, you don't have to go through everything in Illinois for a check. And that is really scary. So I think that the laws on the books need to be enforced, and I think we need the background checks. And at that point, there's compromise and agreement. About 90% of the people in this country agree to that.
We're almost